You'll get no argument here that the Jeep Wrangler is probably the most beloved Jeep of all time, but the Grand Cherokee could make a pretty solid case for the runner-up spot. To celebrate its arrival 25 years ago with the 1993 ZJ, Jeep created the Grand One concept, which takes this family SUV and elevates its off-road prowess, and it also adds just enough 90s nostalgia you can almost hear Pearl Jam soundtracking its arrival. The Grand Cherokee is a landmark vehicle for Jeep. Built to rival the Ford Explorer, it was the first vehicle in the post-AMC era to wear the Chrysler badge. Jeep didn't go with a body-on-frame setup like the Explorer, and instead went with unibody design. But Jeep purists could still get behind the early Grands because of the live axles front and rear. For the Grand One, Jeep added Dana 44s front and rear and fitted them with 488 gearing and selectable front and rear lockers. They also stretched the wheelbase about 3 inches as well to help accommodate the oversized tires. The Grand One features a 2-inch suspension lift. That may not sound like much, but the idea is to enhance the rig without completely changing the stock handling characteristics. So instead of a larger lift, the team went to work trimming the fascias and wheel wells and adding high clearance fender flares. This offered them enough space to stuff 33-inch BF Goodrich mud terrains in the wheel wells. Having built a WJ myself, even trimming, I needed a 4-inch lift to fit 33s. So Jeep's effort to do it with a 2-inch lift isn't lost on me. One of the coolest things about this ZJ is that the Jeep team went incognito and actually went out and bought this vehicle on Craigslist just like the rest of us would. It had a little over 100,000 miles on it and still had the original 5.2 liter V8. There's a lot to love about this ZJ. There's a lot of character, but you kind of have to dig a little bit because on the surface it just looks like a 25-year-old car. But the Grand Cherokee has come a long way since becoming the now most awarded Jeep of all time. Part of what makes this thing so freaking cool though is just the nostalgia. There's a car phone over here. We have, the Seattle grunge flannel ceiling. And the interior, they redid the seats, but they just reupholstered them with new leather. They did change out, this is actually a faux JK wheel. They took a JK wheel and put it on here. Mark Allen, head of Jeep Design, said he just couldn't stand the old ZJ wheel, it's too small, so wanted something a little beefier. But the controls are still the same, there's still a tape deck. What do we got in here? I don't even know what this is. Sling Pass Mix Instrumental? Oh, I guess the 90s was a long time ago. Well, anyway, there is a tape deck that still works. There's a little fine tuning that they might still need to do with the axles and kind of making everything fit. So a little bit of squeaky hair every once in a while, but really this it's like a really cool version of this, the original Suburban, wagon. It's still got the 8-slot grille. They hadn't, fully committed to the 7-slot up front. But the overall drive feel of this thing, it just kind of feels like a badass ZJ. They really improved the capability of this, and it sits much higher off the ground. So the capability is improved considerably, but it still kind of has the soul of a ZJ. It hasn't lost that charm. And that's part of what makes it cool with all the old school instruments and everything in here. Just little tweaks here and there. But it's a pretty fun vehicle to drive. I mean, short of a couple squeaks here and there, it's a blast, and it kind of reminds you just how cool these Jeeps are. Now, the Grand One might look perfectly at home in a suburban driveway, but once you get this on the trails, it will definitely turn some heads.